everyone. Welcome to Enlightened Society podcast, where we believe in restoring hope after life's changes. Leo kwa show yetu tuko na msee mwenye alikuwa orphaned at a very young age. She was sold off. She has been through so many traumatic episodes, and her story is so heartbreaking and yet touching at the same time. With us today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a worship leader, a very phenomenal woman of God, a wife, a mother, a teacher. She's so many things. She's so inspiring, and let's welcome together Pastor Masigishuru.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that great introduction. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy.
So, Pastor Masigishuru, so
Mhm.
many things. A
Yeah,
vocalist trainer,
yeah,
a teacher,
yeah.
a pastor's wife,
So many.
a young mother.
So many.
You are doing a lot in God's kingdom.
I know, and we thank God.
So we want to know, who is Masigishuru? From where did you start from to being the phenomenal woman that you are today?
Wow. So Mercy Gishuru has a long story. I was born in the mid-90s, and me, naweza sema mimi, we did not struggle so much in life growing up. I had parents who are doing well in life, and I have not seen struggle as a young child. So I was born in a Muslim setup, but we were not staunch Muslims. Like, we were not this, those who, it was just, yeah, we were Muslims because we are Muslims, just that. And I grew up. My name growing up was Zainab. Zainab is my name. Most of my childhood friends know me as Zainab. And yeah, that is basically my growing up. It was not, I went to school at a private school. It was called Big Net, around our home. High school also, I have been to high school, and yeah, I think there's not much about my growing up.
So, Pastor Masigishuru,
Yeah.
from the comforts that you are experiencing, a rich kid, into losing both your parents, how was it
Yeah.
for you?
Well, it started first at around when I was in class 6. My dad had gone through some surgeries. He alikuwa ametolewa appendix. He went through some surgeries, and nikiwa class 6, he passed on. He passed on. So we struggled, but we never struggled so much because mom was working and we were doing well. We were still doing well. And then when I was in class 8, my mom got diagnosed of cancer. And I remember the journey of her sickness it was so painful. I watched her lose her life bit by bit. I watched her come from a very large woman. My mom had a body, to a very slim woman, And those days, because it was back in the 2000 and somethings, if you slim up, people say you are positive. So rumors around were my mom is HIV positive, and she was going through a cancer that was killing her bit by bit. And due to that cancer, we lost a lot, because I'm telling you, life shifted from people who used to eat from a silver platter to people who are begging because of that disease. We saw mom sell everything she had, her business, everything, lands, to treat this sickness. And I remember when she passed on, when mom passed on, that day I came from school. She passed on a Friday. See, this is how I came from school, and I was sitting there. By then tulikuwa hadi, the only thing we had was our house. So I came from school, I was seated down, and I watched a TV kidogo, and then I did homework, and then mom was sleeping on the couch. And that day I don't know what happened, because nilipata usingizi. Nililala usingizi nzito hapo tu kwa kiti, hata sikuwa nimemaliza homework, because it's Friday, I'll do it on Saturday, right? So I slept, and I slept a very heavy sleep. And we were living with my grandma then. She had come because now mom ni mgonjwa sana, so we needed her. So I I slept, and I was woken up by my grandma. And she woke me and told me, amsha mama ako aende bedroom alale. So when I went kuamsha madhe, I saw like her eyes zilikuwa zimetoa machozi, and there was foam in her mouth, foam. So I shook her. I was like, Mom, twende tukalale. Because of her sickness, I had moved into her bedroom. Tulikuwa tunashare na yeye bed. So tulikuwa tuende na yeye kulala, nimshikilie tukalale. And she's not waking up. So I'm telling grandma, hey, huyu haamki. And my grandma is telling me, ni kulala amelala sana sababu ya madawa, mshake vizuri. I shook her again, and huyu haamki. And now grandma comes na akasikiliza pulse, and ako like, whoa, this one is gone. And I remember that day, confusion, we cried. It was me and a cousin of mine that mom was sponsoring through school. And we cried, really. It was such a confusing part, because it was 2 weeks to my KCPE. 2 weeks to my KCPE.
2 weeks.
2 weeks to KCPE. Mom is gone. And it was confusing. And I remember there is a woman who came, and she hugged me and my cousin, and she prayed for us. That was the first time I encountered Jesus, because she prayed for us, and she prayed for peace. And after this woman's prayer, I remember there was a peace. I can't explain, but niliacha kulia. I sat down and I remained silent. Kuna peace ilikuja up to the day of burial. So that is how I lost my parents. I lost them like that. And after losing my parents now, your life sasa ilitutandika proper. Because after mom's death, tukapanga vizuri mazishi, we went home, tukamzika, we came back, and whoa, our house is sold. So ule alikuwa so this house had been sold before mom's death.
It was your own property.
Yeah. So before hata mama kufe, ilikuwa ishauzwa. So the one mwenye alikuwa amenunua alikuwa anaona, because hapa kuna mgonjwa, wacha tu niwape time. So mmeshamzika, what will this person do?
Kick you out.
Give me my property. And let me tell you, we moved. These are people I am telling you, we were living good life. We moved to a single mabati house enye haikuwa na stima.
From your own rent, or from your own house.
Mabati house haikuwa na stima. We will use taa ya mafuta. Me, I'm telling you, that was the first time niliona koroboi taa inatumia mafuta ya stove. I had never seen it. And we moved in there, and we squeezed ourselves in that house. It was somewhere at a ghetto.
And you were still able to do your exams, your KCPE.
Yeah, I am about to do KCPE. Tuko huko kwa ghetto. So hata mali tulikuwa tumehamia ilikuwa mbali na shule. Mbali sana na shule yetu. Because now we had to go kwa ghetto. Sisi hatukuwa tunaishi ghetto. Tuliingia ghetto Ungwaro, Kawangware, in a very, very, very bad place. I remember I used to cry nikienda choo, because the toilets were bad. I used to cry. Like, what is this? And then now, I managed to do my KCPE by the way, and I passed. I came out with 385 marks. of which najua if I had no stress I would have scored better, because I did my KCPE thinking, okay, now mom is dead, what next? Even if I pass this exam, naenda aje shule? Looking at the situation we are in, I'm like, naenda aje shule?
A lot of uncertainties.
A lot of uncertainty. And one thing that ijawahi nitoka kwa kichwa, maybe that is why mimi sipendi white rice. Mi ukinipikia mchele white sitakula. When mom was still alive, alikuwa kwa chama fulani ya food, so by the time anapass alikuwa amefikiwa line ya mchele, so tulipewa gunia 2 za mchele, my friend, and we have no food. Boil rice asubuhi ukule, boil rice mchana ukule, boil rice jioni ukule, and the cycle continues and continues.
You ate rice?
Nilikula mchele, my friend. I ate rice. Mimi sahi ukinipea white rice na si maringo, I am not eating that stuff. I am sorry. Iongeze rangi kidogo, weka hata nyanya 2 ndani, we get the color. But now that is how now reality dawns. You are now an orphan.
So after finishing your KCP, juu ulikuwa umepass, the next big thing was you joining high school.
Yeah.
So from this joining high school into you being sold off, how did that happen? Because I'm expecting with that good marks, and back in the days ulikuwa unafaa kupata hadi kama ni sponsorship, some scholarship thing. How did it move so drastically in as much as mama alikuwa amepass to you being a very bright student tuwe kukuja mpaka kufika place unakuja kuuzwa?
Let me tell you, the devil is a liar, because I was called to Buruburu girls, I was called to Udhiru girls, and there was this confusion hapa katikati ya grandma alikuwa anasema wacha tutauza vitu zingine, because tulipotoka tulitoka na coaches zetu, hizo ma wall unit, unajua zilikuwa nini, enzi za wall unit, so tulitoka nazo, so place tulikuwa tumeenda kukaa, hiyo single room haingetosha hizi vitu, so tulikuwa tumeziweka nje. So grandma alikuwa anatuambia nitauza hizi vitu nikupeleke wapi? Shule. So during that time we wasted a lot of time. January kapita, Feb kapita, so by the time ninashtuka, people are telling us ebu jaribuni Equity ilikuwa inapeana wings to fly, jaribu Equity wings to fly. We go to Equity and they're telling us time is up, tushapea watu scholarship. Jaribu Family Bank, time is up, tumepea watu scholarship. So tukaenda Udhiru girls, kumeja, we have finished admission. Buruburu girls, kumeja, we have finished admission. So this is when now we are confused, because hata mimi we have nothing. Grandma penye alikuwa na work, alikuwa anafanyia mzungu fulani job, analipwa 6k per month. Hiyo 6k kuna rent, kuna nini, it was a lot, you know, na alikuwa ameaccumulate deni mingi when mom was sick, so pia alikuwa na debts. So that is when now we get a call from my father's side, that is my grandpa. Hello, mimi nataka wajukuu wangu. Now grandpa wangu anatoka coast, I want my grandkids, because mama yao amekufa, baba yao hayuko, mimi nataka my grandchildren. So we pack, tukaenda coast. Let me tell you, if mimi nikikwambia, mimi I have seen life bread and butter, because mimi grandpa yangu, he is a rich man. Si rich ile ya rich, ni ile rich ya rich. He has money, it is not a joke. So hiyo siku ya kuenda, hata he booked for us a plane.
Wow.
Tulienda na ndege, we did not even use a car. So tumekaa kwa ndege, and I'm like, now this is my life has changed.
God has done it.
My enemies read my back. This life has changed. Those who are laughing at us, this life has changed again. Tunaenda saa kuball. So we land in Mombasa. Tena from Mombasa we take a vehicle to Voi. Sisi tunatoka Voi Wundanyi. Tumefika Wundanyi, welcomed very well, nini. kukaribishwa, nikapewa buibui, hijab and all that, and my life is good. Food was there, everything I needed. Yani there was everything. Starehe zote za hii dunia ungetaka ungepata huko. Now this is where now things now shifted a great deal. I think tulifikiria tumeangukia, kumbe tulikuwa tumeangukiwa. Because now nilipokaa kwa my grandpa's place, okay, he has a big house amejenga, but nyuma ya nyumba yake there is a small house, a small hut. So we used to cook food huko. Nyama ni daily, nikaa sherehe, na hii nyama ikipikwa sinia, you know the mabati sinia hizi za round, inajazwa pilau, nyama, nini, hiyo inapelekwa kwa ile room. Asubuhi sinia inaendewa, inaoshwa. So mimi nikaanza kujiuliza, kwani huku tuko na mfungwa? In my mind was either huyu ni mfungwa ama ni mtu ako na akili imeharibika, amefungiwa huko asisumbue watu. So I started asking around my cousins, ni nini inakuanga kwa ile nyumba? And anytime ungeulize hiyo swali uko naambia wewe, siulize hiyo swali. But sasa ile tu, I think ni ufala ama curiosity, I kept on asking hata my grandmas, because he has 3 wives, so I have 3 grandmothers. Na wauliza ni nini? Wanaambia achana nayo. Usilojua alikuumizi, achana nalo. But then nikakaa, I was taken to a Muslim high school. Nikaingia high school, and we were being taught, ndio masomo ya high school, but sasa hakuna CRE, ni IRE. And I was okay, so it was a day school, but a very posh school, shule ya matajiri, ya the who's and who's. So one day at night, my grandpa, before that I witnessed a lot of things. There's a time kulifanyika crusade around my grandpa's place, and hii crusade ikapangwa vizuri. Siku ya kwanza watu wakaimba, and since mimi nimetoka ghetto, and hizi ni wimbo nimezoea kusikiza, and even before that, growing up as a little child, tulikuwa tunatoroka tunaenda church. Church ilikuwa inatupea biscuit. Kuna church ilikuwa inaitwa Redeemed. Sunday school mlikuwa mnapewa biscuit, so mlikuwa naendanga Sunday school because of biscuit na tu soda tu snack. So I used to go with my buibuis kwa Sunday school, and watoto walikuwa wananiangalia like, umepotea. People in church sort of walinitenga because of the dress code, but mimi, my main agenda ilikuwa biscuit. Keep your attitude to yourself. Bora nitoke hapa na biscuit and a packet of juice niende nikikula. So I knew these songs. So zilipokuwa zinaimbwa, me I thought ni wimbo tu, so I'm singing. It was just around. And that day my grandfather was so furious. Alikasirika, alijam, akaniambia nisiwesikie umeimba hizo vitu huku. Akasema na watanitambua. So that night he goes into that kahat, akalala huko. So then me I didn't see it as a big deal. Let's continue. So in the evening, si unajua crusade ufanywa jioni, these people come back, wakaset vyombo nini. Let me tell you true story. Kulikuja ndovu
out of the blues. Ndio
Taveta iko karibu na Tsavo National Reserve, but there's no way elephant itatoka kwa reserve. I don't know where the elephants came from. They were 2, and they trampled on that crusade. Walikanyaga. They caused damage, a very big damage. But mimi sikufikiria then
there's anything deep
there's
to
anything
it.
I didn't, nilisema oh sorry, and we went on. But now I realized later, now after I am nimefunguka macho. So one day nimekaa tu, so grandpa comes and tells me, Zainab, umekuwa unataka sana kujua nini kwa ile nyumba, si twende nikuonyeshe. And I was like, wow, cool. Nimekuwa nikitamani, so it is my time. Nikaenda. Entering that room, there was no one. The only thing in that house is a pot kubwa sana, kubwa, and a chair. So I'm like, hii nyumba and imepakwa rangi. It is a very nice place by the way, lakini iko tu na pot na kiti, hizi viti tu za zamani za wazee. And he tells me, sit, kaa hapo. I sat on the chair and he tells me, sasa nataka tuombe, tuswali. And I was like, cool, situombe, because my grandpa ni sheikh, so I thought ni nyumba yake ya maombi.
So one thing I'm getting here, at that time you had some enlightenment about Ukristo, at the same time kulikuwa na dini ya Uislamu, so ulikuwa hapo katikati.
I was confused, by the way, very confused. By the way, I was a very confused element spiritually. So nimekaa hapo and he started akaongea maneno, unaona mtu anaongea in tongues, aliongea vitu kama tongues, and he started speaking to the pot. Now what amazed me, sauti ilitoka kwa pot na ikamjibu, and that is where akili yangu, it dawned on me, God, wait a minute, hizi vitu naonanga kwa movies za Nigeria, leo nimeona live. Because the pot was, the pot is empty, haina kitu, a very loud voice, and that voice ilikuwa inaongea ikicheka cheka. You see that? Yeah. Aliita jina Abdi. So Abdi yako anaongea, anasema naam. So I'm like, what? Anasema, kuna moja hapa ningependa kumleta kwako mjuane. Huyu ni mjukuu wangu. Akamwelezea, and I was seated there shocked, shaking. Na Abdi anasema hehehe, yani anacheka so sarcastically. Let me tell you, nilisikia mwili yote imesweat. Nilisimama, I ran out of that room. Nikakimbia. Where I stopped, na ni usiku.
It was at night.
At night, it was night, haikuwa mchana. Where I stopped ni kwa barabara, hainanga watu. Nimesweat. Let me tell you the truth, nimejikojolea. I was shaken to the core. So nikasimama hapo kwa barabara na shake. Kidogo I saw my cousin, wakakuja na gari. And now wakanipik. Wakanirudisha nyumbani, wakaniambia usikue na wasiwasi. Kila mtu mwenye ameenda pale huwa anaogopa siku ya kwanza, lakini ukizoea utaona ikiwa kitu ya kawaida. And I'm like, sioni kama nitazoea hata kama. So I go back home. That is when it dawned on me, kuna vitu mingi zilikuwa my grandpa used to do some funny things, na mimi nilikuwa naona niko na ule Guka superhero, because Guka alikuwa ananiambia, ingia kwa gari leo unataka kukula swara, you know, antelopes. Yeah, ingia kwa gari tuende. Tunaenda. Out of nowhere tutakanyaga antelope na gari. Tutarudi nyumbani na nyama ya swara. So I used to think, hey, grandpa is cool, yo. Huyu mtu ni mnoma. That is when it dawned on me, God, huku si ile land of milk and honey yenye nilikuwa nafikiria. And by then my brother alikuwa ameingia sasa into drugs. The people in that compound, most of them use drugs. So alikuwa amemuintroduce kwa, you know, hizi za kujidunga and all that. Alikuwa ameingia into drugs, ile deep. So mimi I sat in that house so uncomfortable, and they realized kuna venye nilishat, so uncomfortable. So one day he tells me twende beach, twende Mombasa. Sasa twende kwa beach. Tukatoka tukaenda mimi, yeye and a few cousins of mine. So tulipofika beach, akaacha my cousins, You know the devil the devil is a liar, because the devil huwa anaona kitu iko ndani yako, anataka kuitumia to his advantage.
True.
Because mimi as a young girl growing up, I was a very courageous person. Mi ni ule mtu, even in school, wakitaka mtu wa kusoma poem, mas nini Zainab, wakitaka mimi, I was all over, you know. So he takes me to some caves huko tu kwa beach, Mapango, and in those caves tuna so many disturbing things happened, because kwa hiyo cave kulikuwa na wanyama funny and bats.
So he takes you alone.
Me alone, and he left the others wakiogelea and stuff. Bats were there. Very 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 creepy things, by the way. Wanyama wengine hata sijui wanaitwa nini. So many things were there. Tukatoka huko. That is when I realized this is not what I want, because when I left there I felt na kikitu kimefanyika ndani yangu. I don't know venye I explain. I felt I am not myself. Something has overtaken me, because when I left there I had this urge to, I can do bad things. Unaona, kuna conscious ilikuwa crushed in me,
A new spirit.
like I felt there's a courage, a demonic courage, si courage ya kawaida. Felt mi ni mtu hata naweza ua, I don't know. I felt like that. That is when I decided I don't want to be in this place. I'd rather suffer. So mimi huyo one day, because tulitoka beach tukarudi home. So one day I'm like, hey, unajua nini babu, mi nataka kwenda Mombasa to have fun. Yeah, akaniambia it's okay, akanipatia do and I'll have fun. So I took the money. Let me tell you, I went kwa stage, nikapanda gari, next stage Nairobi, nikachukua ingine next stage wapi, Ungwaro kwa shosh, Kalandu Ungwaro kwa shosh. Kufika Ungwaro kwa shosh, shosh naye anahama, ananiambia ameona maisha Ungwaro, it is not favoring her. Moreover, tulikuwa tunajulikana huko sana, as much as sisi, ushaona ile dynasty imeanguka, so there were so many rumors. Hawa ni kama walikuwa wanatumia mapepo kupata pesa, sasa zikawageuka, you see such kind of things. So akaniambia anataka kuhama, ameambiwa na best yake ahamie Githurai, is the best place. So that is how nikaingia Githurai. So niko Githurai and maisha ni ngumu, life was hard. I remember tuliingia Githurai season ya kunguni. Let me tell you my friend, tulikulwa na kunguni. I can never forget that episode of life. Ilikuwa season.
Na kwa hiyo episode yenye ulikuwa nakula na kunguni, and you remember the butter that you had left behind, there was not even a time you had an urge to go back.
I had the urge to. Because grandpa used to call sana, anasema ambia msichana arudi nyumbani, ambia msichana arudi. I had that urge, but you know when God marks you, you can think it's a coincidence why unakataa kitu, lakini Mungu ndio anakudirect ukatae. Because the urge was there, lakini kuna kitu ndani yangu ilikuwa inaniambia mercy don't. So kaka na grandma, then one day, this is the saddest part of my life. My grandma alikuja akaniambia, you know what Mercy, umepata sponsor, atakupeleka wapi? Shule. Huyu sponsor anaishi wapi? Ngong. Let me tell you, he was living sijaona mtu anaishi mahali kama hapo. Deserted place ana neighbor, alone in a big house. Sponsor ako Ngong, umepata, amesema atakupeleka shule. I'm excited. Wow. So this sponsor is a man of God. Alikuwa a pastor with a church. So I was comfortable, because hata kama sijui mambo ya Mungu, I'm assuming a pastor is a good person.
Yeah.
mimi huyo, pack a few things of mine, Ngong. The guy picked me up na gari pale Ngong town. Hey, hata sikuwa nimewahi fika Ngong, but alinipick hapo kwake. Fika kwake, I'm surprised. This man of God, kwa wall there is a wedding picture of him and his wife, but I don't see the wife. What is not happening? And I asked him, na huyu nani? Akaniambia amesafiri kidogo atarudi. So I'm like, it's okay. Nikakaa hapo na yeye like 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm telling you, mimi ni mtu courageous since nikuwa mdogo. So I'm like, naenda lini shule? And he's like, wait, because sasa ilikuwa time ilikuwa imesonga, tunaelekea 3rd term. So I was like, wait. He was like, wait, utaingia next year 1st term, uanze vizuri. Sasa hata ukiingia ni kama kuku waste. And I saw sense, let me wait for next year. So we used to go to church. Ni zile kanisa za kutoana mapepo, unajua hizo. Sema wewe ni nani? Mko wangapi? Tuko 7 beba mizigo yako, toka, and all that. So zilikuwa hiyo kanisa. And we used to go to church. But then hata sikukuwa nimetoka Uislamu ndani yangu, because when you are in a place where there is no God in the first place, transformation cannot happen. I was just a church goer, and nilikuwa nakaa hivi amazed. Huyu ako na mapepo 7, mwingine 23 zote. Mwingine anasema sisi sijui tuko baharini. I'm like, nyinyi mnajua mapepo wa baharini vizuri, si mniulize niwaambie venye wakaangi hivi, hili drama. So I stayed with that man, and then this man, he had I don't know, sijui kama niite a demonic fetish, because it was back then. Now that is now in 2010. Hakukuwa na hizi smartphone, as they were not common like now. Of course he had a smartphone ya Samsung, ile inakuwa na kabato na hapa chini, so you know it, ndizo zilikuwa zimetokea hiyo season, but they were not that common. So ni TV, you know. And this man is a man of God, remember? Alikuwa anaenda nanua CD, hizi CD za kuwatch za pornography, and he will sit down and watch. Na ananiita, ananiambia come hapa. I'm like, why are you watching with me this? You know? And I was like, hey, mimi ndio sielewi wa Kristo. Kwani hata sisi Waislamu tunajua hii ni haramu. You know?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this with me? And then one day I'm like, when is your wife coming back? So ananikalisha chini one day and he tells me, let me tell you the truth. You are the wife. Hey, ngoja. How am I your wife? I came here to go to school. How am I your wife? And he's like, you are the wife. My God.
So it finally dawned on you, you had been sold.
Yeah.
As a wife. Now, I'm asking him, how am I your wife? And he's like, mi hata nishalipa mahari. I've given your grandmother money. Na wewe ni mke wangu. So you will stay here, will perform every wifely duty. I was around 12 years. Oh my God. 12. With a man of God. A man who claims to be a man of God. Yes. I don't want to mention the church because it is still existing. A man of God. And that man, he used to beat me. Let me tell you, he had this, I'm telling you, he had a demonic fetish. After watching whatever he's watching, now he gets violent. Angenichapa. Alikuwa na nyaunyo. You know, unajua hii nyaunyo? Si unajua nyaunyo? Hii inakuanga refu hivi, alafu konde huku mbele. Alikuwa nayo in his house. And he would beat me to numbness.
A man will beat me. God.
He just used to beat you randomly, ama there was a trigger that would
For
make
no
him beat
reason.
you?
For no reason. Like, unaweza kuwa tu umekaa upewe kofi. I'm like, saa nimedu.
Wow, what a story. Pastor Mercy, your story, it's not something that anyone would have easily survived. And ladies and gentlemen, you can agree that it is heart-wrenching, especially when she was under the protection and the guise of a man of God. Now, for you to know what happened next in the house of the man of God that Mercy was staying under his roof as the wife. She's not married to him, so obviously she escaped him. But if you want to know that and how she escaped, tune in our next episode here at Enlightened Society. Follow our YouTube channel at Pastor Penjo Murungi. You can find us on TikTok at DCIPCK. You can find us on Facebook at Deliverance Church International, Possibility Center Kasarani, and in Instagram at DC Possibility Center. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. I'm your host, Nancy Makoyo.